Hey folks, all right, we're going to do some game design today. We're building a Spelljammer and Eberron Asteroid mining adventure campaign toolkit. So I don't know how to word it quite yet, but that's all the stuff. Let me check my signal here real quick, make sure we are up and running, and then we'll get into this for an hour or so. So mic check, 1, 2, 3, mic check for an hour. Sounds like I'm coming through A-OK. So cool. I'm going to hit the channels here. I'm probably going to be jumping into Blue Sky here, and probably by next week, because it doesn't seem like anyone uses Twitter anymore that's in the RPG interests. There sure hasn't been any real interest in stuff that I've posted on Twitter, so I'm thinking that maybe I should be in Blue Sky instead. So, it is what it is. Let's see, I'm going to hit my signal here real quick just to let folks know that I'm active, and I will distract you with my intro spiel. So here it is. My name is Theurgy. I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, and I publish online. I've been focusing attention on Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition since the release of Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica back in 2017. It was the first Magic the Gathering setting that Wizards had created from the Magic the Gathering universe to be played using the D&D 5e game mechanics, and there wasn't any color. I thought there'd be color mana, but there wasn't, so I built out my own color mana system that you can look at in the preview down below under color mana spell points, along with a bunch of other cool stuff. So if you think any of that stuff is cool, certainly jump in on it. Buy to encourage me to do more stuff like that in the future. So big shout out to the Spelljammer Preservation, as well as to the Eberron channels here on Reddit. I did just post that I'm live here on Twitter. If you're on the Twitter X platform, you can follow me at Theurgy. I'll be on Blue Sky shortly as well. Let's see, hit the like, subscribe, and the bell icon to get notifications of when I'm live in the future. Here's the full playlist of building out the Spelljammer campaign toolkit that we have called Spelljammer Combat and Exploration. That's going to be publishing on DMsGuild and probably like around February 19th, 2024, like in a week or so from now. And we are currently working on a kit here for using Eberron and Spelljammer together for an asteroid mining project. You can check out the previous episode. I went into a fairly in-depth look at what the narrative, the campaign environment, and the setting is. So we're basically making this is a new Google Doc that I created for the campaign that I will eventually make available for folks to access through my Patreon and Discord channels. So you can catch hold of me there if you're interested. There's links to the Discord community, and that Discord link is dead. You can actually, I need to update that. But you can find me on Patreon, and the About page has an updated link to my Discord community if you're interested in participating that way. And I will, probably next week, I'll post a link to this document on my Patreon for folks to check out at no cost. So we're building out a, basically it's the way that's working. So my weekly table right now are coworkers at my day job, and we play once a week during lunch. And we just finished a 20-level campaign. It was a time travel campaign in Eberron, and it lasted 5 years because we only had 1 hour a week to play. So it clocked in somewhere around 220 hours over the course of the 20-level spread. And now we've picked up a couple extra people, so now we have a table of 6, and we can't effectively play Eberron. Hold on, I gotta hit mute here real quick, so I gotta call. All right. Appointment I had to confirm. Let's see. Okay, so we're taking, since we have 6 people that are playing, we only have 1 hour a week to play. The conventional 5e mechanics are too in-depth and task-intensive for 6 people to get anything done in a 60-minute block of time. So instead, we're going to use the 5e difficulty chassis, the D20 mechanics. We're going to use the proficiency dice, which is a variant rule in the DMG, and core to the Essence 20 system by Renegade Games, if you're not familiar with that already. We're also going to use Cypher scaling difficulties from a scale of 1 to 10, basically giving us a DC line of no difficulty is a natural 1. You don't have to roll. Difficulty level of 1 is only a DC 4, and it scales up from 1 to 10, a 10 being a 31. So basically, it's the DC is the level of difficulty on a scale of 1 to 10 times 3 plus 1. So a difficulty of 1 would be 1 times 3 plus 1 equals 4. A difficulty of 10 is 10 times 3 plus 1 is 31. That gives us the normal bell curve that you expect inside of the 5e game engine. And using, when we're having our guild perform tasks, that the players aren't directly managing the tasks of themselves. They're just relegating it to their NPC minions to perform the task. Then they use a proficiency die that allows for a wider swing in variables that can make a moderate task difficult if they roll low on their D20 and on their proficiency dice. But it could also be a very difficult task can become very easy if they roll high both on their D20 and on their proficiency die. A 5th rank character, which would a 5th rank organization with minions could perform a task by rolling a D20 plus 5 because of the rank, which replaces the ability score of a character. And then instead of having a proficiency bonus of plus 6, they would roll a 12-sided die. So whatever your proficiency bonus is, double that, that's the die size. So a 1st rank crew rolls a D4 because your proficiency bonus is plus 2. Double that, that's the kind of die that you roll. So D4, D6, D8, D10, D12. Which means a 5th rank guild member that's been relegated to perform a task on behalf of the team as a single die roll, it'd be a D20 plus D12 plus 5. And the most difficult task, which was nearly impossible at a scale of 10, is only a 31. So it's possible for you to roll all the way up to a 37. So, but you could also roll as low as an 8. So you basically have a range of 8 to 37. And at 5th rank, the tasks that you are attempting to tackle are like 8, 9, like difficulty on a range of 8 to 10. Which is going to be anywhere from a 31, 28, or basically like 25 to 31 is basically the range of tasks that you're attempting to accomplish. So we have some index card RPG because there's 2 ways to resolve tasks. Is either by ability checks, either performed by NPCs in a single die roll, or as skill challenges or as group checks that can be done with the team rolling various proficiency dice themselves. There's also a progress meter of success, where what is it, Blaze in the Dark or whatever the dark systems, they have a rotating clock of like you have so many times that something can happen before boom goes the dynamite. With the index card RPG system, its tasks have goals that you try to achieve have a hit point pool. Like if you want to pick a lock, that lock has a success pool, and every time you roll your lock picking check, you're going to use your proficiency die to damage the lock by opening it. And once the lock runs out of points, it opens, which you could achieve by picking the lock, smashing the lock, magicking the lock open. If I have a open lock spell and I'm going to cast it at 3rd rank, that would give me a D8 die roll. So I'd be able to deal up to D8 points of unlocking for that. That's how the index card RPG system works. Maze Rats randomizes what kind of spell you have access to, and Shadow Dark has you make an ability check to be able to cast that spell on a scale of 1 to 10. So when you're casting the spell, you can set the difficulty scale that you want to attempt to cast. I want to use a paralysis spell to force lock that carrier ship that's 2 miles away. That's going to be like a difficulty 9, which means I'm going to have to roll a Difficulty times 3 plus 1 is 9, times 3 is 27, plus 1 is a 28. So my character would have to roll a DC 28 on my spellcasting check. I'd probably use like Force of Will, which might have like a plus 3 ability point bonus. And then if I'm second rank, then I'd have a plus 3 proficiency bonus to it, which is only a plus 6. It's virtually impossible for me to be able to roll a 28 on a d20 plus 6. There might be some mitigating bonuses, but it's even if I had like another plus 3, that'd only be a d20 plus 9, and I have to hit a 28. So I'd have to roll a 19 or a 20 to succeed at that task, and if I fail at that task, I can't cast that spell anymore today. And I have a very limited supply of spells that I can cast. And once that spell is gone, when I go into my next mission, I'll have a new set of spells, and then I get to narrate and magic up what kind of use of what I can do with that spell. So, hey Cash. So right now I want to go look at Maze Rats. Maze Rats is by Ben. Who the hell created this? I can't remember Ben's last name. He made Limits of the Fire Princess and a bunch of obviously Maze Rats. I can't believe he doesn't list his name on here. This is a super light system. There you go, Bill Minton, Ben Milton. Thank you. So okay, so magic is broken into physical effects, ethereal effects, physical elements, ethereal elements, physical form, and ethereal form. So there's physical, ethereal, and physical and ethereal, effects, elements, and forms. There you go. So those are the 6 aspects of spells. So when you are, when we begin a new mission and you have spells in your docket, then you would roll 2d6 to determine what kind of a spell it's going to be. So we take a 2d6. Here I use Vegas dice. I got a 5 and a 1. So a 5 here is going to be a 5 down the line, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 5, 1. It's going to be a physical element and a physical form. So here's my physical element. Physical element and physical form. So my spell, when I use my spell, as I have an action and a move action. And I can use an action to move more than once. We're using distance banning, which is close, far, and distant. As a move action, you can move from here to close, from close to far, and then from far to distance. I could spend my action to move twice to go from here to near and then far, and then next round I can spend actions to go to become distant. If I use an action, I could cast a spell, use a skill, make an attack. That's basically the 3 things that you can do. And this is, again, we only have 1 hour per week to play, and I have 6 players at the table. So everyone has to be able to do stuff, and we have to be able to crack through the round quickly so that everyone has an opportunity to participate. So I'm going to roll my dice. I got a 5 and a 1. That means a physical form and a physical, 5 and a 1, physical element and physical form. So I'm just going to jot down here real quick. We're going to go down here. We're slowly piecing together different elements of this, but I got a element and form. Element and form. Physical. I'm just demonstrating how this thing works. So physical form, you can see it's a 6x6 grid. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to roll a 1, and I'm going to roll a 3. So I got one. I rolled a 1 and then 3. So the physical form is going to be an arrow. And then physical element, I'm going to do the same thing again. I get a 5 and a 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stone arrow. So when my if I have a second rank character, let's take a look real quick here at our character build. So your rank is equal to gives you a proficiency bonus. The proficiency bonus proceeds as a 5e character would. So a first rank would be a +2. 5th rank would be a +6. And then we have ability modifiers. Strength and charisma are your power statistics, like force of will, physical strength, just brute effort. Nuance is like a combination of skill and subtlety. Yeah, like picking a lock, or threading a needle, or casting, or maybe tracing a rune, or stealth. And then there's resilience, which is constitution and wisdom, basically constitution and wisdom. And this is your ability to endure, like overcome poison, pick up on bullshit, not fall into peer pressure. These are different aspects of resilience. So when you're casting a spell, you're either going to cast it as with power, you're going to cast it as with nuance, or you're going to cast it as resilience. So you get to decide how you want to cast the spell, and then depending on what you're trying to do, we're going to set a difficulty to it. Each of these stats, you're going to have a +3, +2, +1, 0, -1, -2. So let's say I wanted to build a Warlock that has a lot of force of personality. So I'm going to give them a +3 in their charisma. I want them to be maybe subtle, like they pick up on things, like they're smart. So I might give them a +1 here, and then maybe they have a very, maybe that's physically demanding and exhausting for them to access their magic. So I'm going to give them a higher constitution. This high endurance that their patron requires may have a heavy debilitating effect. So they may have a high level of endurance to be able to sustain lots of physical stress, but it sapped all of the life and energy from their body, so they have a shit strength, and they're clumsy, and maybe they have a -2 in their wisdom resilience because their patron requires them to have a low mental threshold so that it can permeate their psyche and infuse them with arcane power in the first place. So maybe in this character's, because each character can be different, you're just assigning 6 stats, and then here you go. And you narrate what these things mean for yourself. So in this array, we have a Warlock who channels power. It requires a lot of physical demand, and it's all force of will that is born by having an otherworldly entity partially possess the character to then channel the magic through. So when I have this stone arrow effect that we just rolled up. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I can set the difficulty for what I can do with a stone arrow. If I'm going to use force, I get a +3, and then I have a proficiency. Let's say I'm 2nd rank, right? So that means I'm going to have a +3 bonus on top of that. So when I use a power, when I use my power to cast the spell, I'll get a +6 to my die roll. So I'll do a d20 +6. And if I set the difficulty of how powerful of a task I want to perform with this stone arrow spell. Like for example, I want to shoot a bastard. Like there's a goblin over there, and I'm going to use my action to cast stone arrow, and a spike of iron is going to fly through his body, and then it's going to rust away and disintegrate after it wounds him. Maybe the DM will say that's a very easy task. Let's say on a scale of 1 to 10. Punching a hole through that goblin's head with an iron arrow that you wish into existence, maybe that's a difficulty of 3. So 3 times 3 plus 1, the difficulty is a 10. So on a d20 plus 6, all I'd have to roll is a 10, and I could kill that minion one shot. But if I rolled a 9 or lower, I've just lost stone arrow for the rest of the adventure. And when I get new spells back, I will completely re-roll something completely different. So I'm always randomizing what my character can do. We could potentially allow the character, we could like spend a point of resources in lore to learn how to memorize that stone arrow effect. So when the characters go into an adventure, they could build a kit of spells in a slowly growing spell book of different options and arrays that is like, yeah, let's pick up stone arrow, and I don't know, let's random up another one just because these things are fun to do. So I'll roll another one. I got a 6 and a 2. So 6 and 2 is physical element in physical form, physical element in ethereal form. So let's go check this out. Physical element and ethereal form. So that's going to be a physical element. I got a 5 and a 5 again. So it's going to be stone. And then in ethereal form, a 6 and a 6. I'm going to roll d6, d6. I got a 1 and a 1. Aura. Stone aura. Okay, so there's no definition beyond that. It's just those two words tied together. The player gets to decide what the effect is based on the idea of a stone aura, and then sets the difficulty. Like, for example, we're fighting an orcish gunship, and my characters are aboard a gunboat themselves, and they're fighting orc pirates. And you have access to the stone aura spell. So as my action, I'm going to form a shell of stone-like material around our gunboat so that we don't take any damage from attacks. I already know that the gunboat, the orc pirates they're fighting might be like a difficulty 6. So on a scale of 1 to 10, fighting these orcs is a 6. So 6 times 3 plus 1 is a DC of 19, and my character is 3rd rank. Now, this might not be a power roll. Instead, this is a resilience roll, for example, and maybe this is I can choose it to be like, say, physical resilience. So it'll be a Constitution plus 3 for my proficiency. I only have a plus 5 on a DC of 19, and so if I use the spell against the orcs that way, if I roll below a 19, I'll be able to create the shell, but as a result of it, it's going to burn the spell out of my head, and I won't be able to use it anymore. Then I'll have to like pick up my bolt thrower or something, pop, 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 start taking shots at people with the gun. So that's another example of a scenario. What's another thing that you would be able to do with stone aura, for instance? Maybe maybe you wanted to use the stone aura spell to sense the aura of a nearby asteroid that you are near, to pick up on whether or not it has any kind of precious materials or has any hidden alcoves inside that might have some sort of monsters inside of it. So I could then use my nuance, which would be, in this case, intelligence. This guy's not very intelligent, but it's still on my plus 3 bonus. So it'd be, I'd have a D4. Maybe I as a DM have no idea, I could literally just roll a D10. But since that would a difficulty of 10 would be blowing the 2nd rank characters out of the curve, because the best they can have is a plus 6, which means the best that they can roll is a 16. 4, 7, 10, 13, 16. The best they can do is a 5, right? So that probably means I want to roll a D4 and then add 1. So that the challenges that they're facing during this adventure is going to range in scale from 2 to 5. And if like they run across like a boss fight or something, I could make that a 6. So it's particularly difficult for them to overcome. So I'm just going to roll a D4 and add 1. The result I got was a DC 2. So that means that the rock, for them to be able to use their stone aura to sense what's going on inside of that rock, only has a DC of 2. No, it has a difficulty of 2. So a DC of 1 is 4, a DC of 2 is 7. So all I have to do is roll a 7 or above on my check, but I only have a plus 4 to my die roll. So it's D20 plus 4, and all I got to do is roll a 7. If I botch that roll, I lose my stone aura ability, and it's just permanently gone. There you go. So then I can roll that. I got a 13. And hey, okay, I can sense there's some sort of, feels like some sort of resonating material. 2nd rank is going to be like electrum. So there's electrum, and it's resonating with some sort of creature inside. it feels like earth elemental creatures are inside of there. It looks like they're feeding on this asteroid. So now the character knows that the asteroid that they're engaging with has earth elemental creatures inside that are eating the resources that they might be able to gather from this. In this case, it's Electrum. So that's how you would be able to use that effect. That's the idea. So we have the basic chest. We have the... Thank you. Thank you. Let me go ahead and set my timer here. There. Yeah, we still got 40 minutes. So that's how the basic of the character works. You choose power, nuance, or resilience. You either have proficiency with the thing that you're doing or you don't. And then you make your die roll set against the difficulty. And if you succeed the roll, you execute the thing that you want to do. If you fail the roll, you'll still be able to have at least a partial success, but it's going to create some sort of a complication. Like if we're like shooting at somebody and the chance to hit them is a difficulty, like say on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe it's like a 4 for you to hit them. So 4 times 3 plus 1 is 13. If I rolled a 13 and I'm a second rank character, that gives me a D6 proficiency die. When I take my shot, I'll do D6 points of damage to that target. If I fail, I'll at best it'd be D6 plus 2 because of my rank is second rank, and then if I had missed the attack, it would do whatever it'd be whatever rank I have, which in this case would be 2. So I do 2 points of damage. But I would also create a complication. Like for instance, I took my shot. It was only a glancing blow because of the cover that he has. So the creature takes 2 points of damage, but the shot ricochets, and maybe it distracts the rest of the team. So what I do is the team, when I'm processing this stuff at the table during a game, we have 6 players. So we'll have a marching order. So we have person A, person B, right? Person C, person D, person E, and person F. And let's say we're on, who are we on? Okay, so currently we're on person number 2 who just took that shot. So they aim their gun, they take the shot, they miss the shot. They do a glancing blow on the creature, but their shot causes a ricochet. I'm now going to roll a D6. I rolled a 6. So starting on the person who took the shot, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That ricochet came back and it hit the person that fired the shot. And they're going to take the same amount of damage that they dealt to that creature. And they have 10 hit points per rank. So a first rank character has 10 hit points. The max you have is 5th rank, which is 50 hit points. On that glancing blow, it actually ricocheted off the rock and came back and hit the character for 2 points of damage themselves. But that resolves the complication. Let's say they wanted to throw a grenade behind the obstacle, and they make their roll. And let's say they failed their roll. Maybe the grenade hit the grenade hit the obstacle and bounced back at the team. So now I'm going to roll a D6. I rolled a 2. So this is going to be 2 people. I rolled 2 out of 6. So 2 people on my team are going to be impacted or going to take damage from that frag grenade blowing up where it's not supposed to. So it's going to deal some damage to the structure that is that's giving these creatures cover. So I'm going to reduce the difficulty of attacking them by 1. But as a result of that, they're all going to take 3 points of damage. So it was 2 characters that got hurt, and then we'll roll on the D6 to see which 2 characters got hurt. I rolled a 3, so it starts here, 1, 2, 3. So character E and F are each going to take 3 points of damage. And then we have 20 hit points total. So there you go. They just got hurt. So there you go. What we need to do is there's a number of... This is a good core engine. That's a mix between Cypher System, D20s, like 5e. It's using 5e scaling. It's using Cypher System scaling difficulty. It's using bound accuracy from 5e. It's doing progressive damage systems from Index Card RPG. And it's using Shadow Dark for task resolution and fail states. So it's using all 5 of those role-playing games together to create that sort of an action loop sequence. Now all we need to do is flesh out perks that characters get as they ascend in levels. So it's super easy to build the character. We know that this is your stat line, and that these are the static bonuses that your character is going to get. When you build a character at first level, you get a heroic perk, and then you get a specialist perk. And there's 4 types of specialization. There's combat, delving, espionage, and negotiation. So each one of these specialists are going to have 1d4 perks. So when you roll on your perks table, and you can get from Shadow Dark, you're randomizing your character. So if your character dies and you roll up a new character, you can build one in a matter of minutes. If you wanted to, you jump back in with a new character. You would roll randomly on your heroic perks, and we're using proficiency dice. So first rank characters have a D4, D6, D8, D10, and then a 5th rank character has D12. So the perks that the hero can gain perks, and whenever they gain a level, they're going to roll the proficiency die that their new rank allots to them. So first rank characters roll a D4, and here's the perks that they could gain from it. They could increase 2 stats by +1 each. So here's my stat line. If I rolled that, I could reduce my wisdom penalty by 1 and increase my force of power by 1. So now I'm pushing my character up. They're having a stronger force of will, and they're shoring up their weak mental defenses. So that was the die roll that I got there at first level was my heroic perk. I rolled a 1, so I got to increase 2 stats, but I could also have gotten increased 1 stat by 2, and then half the time I'm just going to be rolling down on the specialist perk. So if this is when I build the character, I decide, is this character a combat character, a delving character, an espionage character, or a negotiations character? And so that's going to be the perk table that I'm going to roll on. And I still haven't built out perks, but we need to be able to do that. So add rank die versus hazards. So this would be when the team triggers a trap, they're going to have to make some sort of a saving throw to resist the effect. And it's either going to be a power, nuance, or resilience effect. If it's like falling stones, they could choose either resilience to endure the hit, or say nuance dexterity to dive out of the way. And so they could choose either one of those, either a constitution or nuance, for instance. And then they would make their die roll, and if it's a resilience check, that'd be where their their proficiency. They gain proficiency in 1 set. So like for this Warlock character we were building, they would get a +3 to their power, because this is what they're proficient with. They're proficient in power. They're not proficient in nuance, and they're not proficient in resilience. So they wouldn't be able to gain their proficiency bonus on those things at all. Which means that, like for charisma here, this character would now be able to pull off as high as a 27 on a power check, or to resolve something. But if they wanted to resist magic, they're not proficient in power. They're now going to at best roll. They could roll anywhere from a 0 to a 19. Ooh, that gives us a good point. Roll on a specialist table, advantage on effect die, add rank. Let's see. Let's go with gain proficiency in second aspect. That's what we're calling these things, aspects of character. Your power, your nuance, and your resilience. And then these are the 6 stats. So 1 aspect. So here we have gain proficiency in a second aspect. That's a really fucking great perk to get. It's a general perk because it's modifying the core stats of the character and how they perform. So what else do we need? We need 1 more perk to be able to have the heroic perks fleshed out. Granted, half the heroic perks are go roll on your specialist perk. So it's possible for you to have a 5th rank character who only has heroic perks, but their stats are going to be fucking fantastic. As opposed to going down here into the specialists, they're gaining specific modifiers or conditions that allow them to be able to play with different things. And what I'm thinking is gain a spell that is physical form and effect. Let's go look at the physical forms and physical effects. Let's try a few of these. So I think it's interesting that we can limit the list to just whatever these are. Espionage. Let's take a look at. Let's go with. That is ethereal form and ethereal effect. What is an ethereal forms? Blast, blob, area, cloud. Ethereal effect. Elements. There's 12 combinations and there's 4 classes. I bet there's a way to break these things down. Gain a spell that is ethereal element and physical form. Let's see what that does. Ethereal element, physical form. Ethereal element, 4 and 6. 4 and 2. So we create. Delver has some sort of a plasma something going on that's going to have a physical form. 2 and 2. A plasma chariot. Oh my god, that's so cool. This is a Delver. So that would be like you could create an air bubble around yourself that you could like navigate with. That's a fun idea. That's cool. Let's try one more. Ethereal, what is it? Ethereal element with physical form. Ethereal element 6/3. A void, and 2 and 2. A void chariot again. Let's re-roll that chariot. Void 6/4. A void trap. Maybe this Delver can set a trap that when it gets triggered by a monster, it creates a vacuum, maybe, that like knocks it off its feet or like traps it in a bubble. So it's like floating in a void. So it would have to try to fight its way out of that. So you could have like this trap springer character that just throws down these magical traps. It's one action to cast a spell. So as an action, you could throw down a void trap. And if a monster comes along and hits that trap, then they're going to pop a bubble and they're going to get stuck. And then you can interrogate them or steal them and take them back with you or just shoot them in the head because they're just hanging there. That's a neat idea. I like that. Ethereal form and physical effect, ethereal element and physical form. Let's go to ethereal form and effect for espionage. So ethereal form and effect. Ethereal form is 5 and 6. It's a storm. And the ethereal effect, one and 2. A banishing storm. Huh. Maybe that would be like or it could be a storm banishing effect. Like I cast this spell in a room and all the air in that room gets taken out. Or conversely, maybe I could summon a bank of fog that makes us disappear from view. Eh? Maybe that works. We're banished from that. They can't see us or hear us anymore. They can't detect us at all while we're inside this bank, this bank of fog, for instance. That could be a way. That could be a thing. That's actually a pretty decent espionage thing. Gain a spell that is physical form. Ethereal form. Is there an ethereal form with ethereal effect? Yeah, ethereal. Ethereal elements and physical. Yeah, physical form, physical effect. Ethereal element, physical form. Ethereal form and effect. Gain a spell that is physical element, ethereal effect. Let's see what that does. Physical element, ethereal effect. Physical element is 2 and 6. Fungus. And the effect is an ethereal effect. 6 and 4. Warding fungus. I feel like physical element should be here. Let's try that again. Ethereal. Let's go with physical element. Physical form. Physical element, physical form. 6 and 3 is water. And physical form. Physical elements and physical form. 2 and 5. Colossus water. Colossus. Water Colossus. Colossus. Maybe you can pull water out of a massive object. Maybe you can summon large amounts of water. That's a Delver sort of thing to do, I guess. Colossus and water. Maybe it's maybe you can extract water, like you could dry up a grotto or something so you can search it. I'm seeing some limited effects going on there, but we'll see. Espionage, ethereal form and effect. No, it was the ethereal element and ethereal effect that we have. Ethereal element, 4 and 4 is rain. And ethereal effect. We have rain, 6/5 rain. Wearying rain. And this is a negotiation. So maybe you're able to wear down the will of the people that you're negotiating with, and make them susceptible to suggestion when they take a drink of water. I don't know. It's rain. It's rain. So maybe like maybe the precipitate. Maybe you cause precipitation to happen in the region, and it wills it somehow. It wears down their will. I don't know. I'm just guessing here, but these are weird ass combinations of things. So we might actually have to create a curated list limiting these so that we have like specific combat ideas, delving ideas, espionage ideas, and negotiation ideas. Like silo some of the stuff off. And instead of having a broad 6x6 grid, since we know what we're focusing on, like we wouldn't have to call it physical and elemental forms like that. We could just call it like roll a spell on the combat list, so we could have a 4x4 block of combat effects, like physical forms and physical effects that you could do. That could work. It's going to take some time, but that could work. So I don't want to necessarily spend that time here now. But I'm going to have to do it soon. So gain a delving spell. How about that? Gain a delving spell. Gain a espionage spell. Gain a combat spell. Yeah, and this would just be a list of descriptors that you would then be able to just trigger what those descriptors do. Combat. Increase hit points by 10. Advantage on effect dice. So when you succeed something in combat, and you're going to roll your proficiency die to determine how many points of progress that you make, you'll roll twice and you'll keep the best result. So that's what advantage on effect die means. Oh, this was open still. Specialist perks, increase success by +1. It can increase success by +2. Spend resources to gain new team. What am I looking for? Success equals rank / rank plus die. Rank / plus die. There you go. Your rank is your miss, and then your rank plus the die that you roll is your success. And a miss gives you mild progress, but it always comes with a complication comparable to the difficulty you were attempting to achieve. So if you're going for a difficulty 6 task and you fuck up, you're going to get a difficulty 6 problem. And we're slowly trying to build out the language behind like what, as a DM, I'm just going to have to eyeball scale of 1 to 10, how difficult is this, knowing that the most that your character can possibly achieve is a 5. So on a scale of, so it should really be on a scale of 1 to 5, or even 0 to 5. How difficult is this task? And if the answer is 0, then they automatically succeed at it. There's nothing that needs to be rolled. They just do the thing. Let's see. So we have increased stats. We have increased 1 stat by 2, 2 stats by 1, 1 stat by 2. When you roll a result. Your success is either going to be your rank, and with this, it's going to be rank +1. Or if you succeed, it's going to be your rank +1 plus die roll. and then at 11, and then at 5th rank, you've got one shot at this one. You'll either get a special. I mean, you roll a d12, so it could be anything down the line. But if you happen to roll an 11, it would be increased success by +2. Gain proficiency in the 2nd aspect. That's a really good one. So that feels right for 4th rank. 3rd rank, increasing rank by 1. 5th rank, increasing rank success by a +2. 3rd rank, 5th rank. 4th rank is gain proficiency in a 2nd aspect. This is increasing stats. These are increasing successes. These are increasing aspects. What would I do? What would I do for increasing aspects? Increase proficiency in one aspect by +2. Because this is 2nd rank, so your proficiency bonus is +3, and then it's +4, then it's +5, and then it's +6. So in this character's example, we know that our power is +3, but if I gain this increased proficiency in one aspect by +2, I could add it to power and rank that all the way up to a +5, or I could like shore up my resilience, or I could shore up my nuance. So I'd get a +2 bonus on my nuance. Like maybe that, because nuance is, that's a net +1. This is also a net +1. So these are both pretty shitty. I see myself using resilience more, honestly. So I would add a +2 to resilience here. So now my physical resilience goes up to +4, and my wisdom, which is my mental resilience, is now a +1 instead of a -1. That's good stat. I'm pretty good with that. I am very, very good with that. Okay, cool. So there's our heroic progression, and you could re-roll the same thing over and over again. So I could potentially increase one stat +2 5 times, and end up having like a charisma +13, which would be insane. I'd be able to pull off miracles, but it'd be a miracle for me to roll up that kind of a character. And of course, once the character dies, they're gone forever, and then you have to rebuild a new one. Let's see. So yeah, so that's good. Now we are back to... That's a good place to start. We can test this for a while, see how it goes. Now we're back into specialists. So combat. Combat. I'm thinking, let's see, gain a combat spell, that's always cool. Gain a spells are cool. Gain a combat spell slot. Advantage on an effect die. Increase hit points by +10. Gain a combat spell. This is gonna have to be, what would be a good meaty thing to do? Maybe reduce damage. let's see. How would I want to do this? Here's the whole array. I need to have this list finished by Wednesday next week. So we have plenty of time, but we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 options to fill in. Delving, add rank, die versus hazards. Add rank die when avoiding hazards. When rolling to avoid hazards. When rolling to avoid hazards. There we go. Okay, so we're in combat. We're attacking things. When we hit, we're going to deal a die of damage. If we miss, we're going to deal minimal damage, but gain a complication. And complications are often damage, but don't necessarily have to be damage. But damage is a thing. So when do the creatures deal damage? Maybe the creatures deal damage. Maybe we can only use one stat, each stat once per round, because we have okay, so we have one action and then we have movement, or you can have two movements and no action, and then there is the creatures attacking you, and resisting their effect has a difficulty. So you have to roll against the difficulty, and if you're successful, you resist the effect. If you fail, you you take damage equal to maybe just the difficulty of the task. Maybe that's what makes sense. That's a good one. Add rank die. During defense roll, add rank die when rolling to avoid harm. No, wait a second. Ooh, this is a good one. Can give defense result. Can share defense result with one ally per rank. That's a good one. Because I have a party of 5, so a party of 6. So at 5th rank, they get a defense roll for themselves, and that's a really good defense roll. They can give that defense roll to everybody in the party. So if they roll well, everyone rolls well, and everyone can dump stat. So then that could become a tank character that specifically always uses, let's say their constitution is buffed out, and then they have proficiency and resilience. They can always use they always use their constitution resilience for their die roll, and almost guarantees that they're going to give everyone else on the team a good result. And so that's their role on the party, is to get everyone good defense rolls. And then since they're eating up their con check, they would have to use something, a different aspect. That's it. So you can only use spend 1 edge, spend 1 rage, stats, can only roll 1 aspect per round. So if I use my resilience on my defense check, I would then only be able to use either nuance or power for whatever action I'm going to take. And if instead, let's say I chose to use my power to defend myself this turn, then I would be forced to use either nuance or resilience for whatever upcoming action I may choose to take. Or I might not take any action and allow that and just use movement. So that tells me we should be able to forego an action. That's not a bad one. Sacrifice action to gain sacrifice movement to gain advantage on success dice during combat. That's clever. And now here under espionage, we're going to sacrifice action to gain advantage on success dice during there we go. Sacrifice movement to gain advantage on success dice during espionage. Oh, that's the way to do it. During stealth. Sacrifice action. That's the way to do it. Yeah, I was right the first time. Sacrifice action to gain advantage on success dice during stealth. So whether someone's trying to notice me and I'm trying to stay hidden, instead of it being an action, we're treating it as movement. So stealth is movement. Attack, cast spell. Stealth. Object interaction. Use an object. Yeah, it's interaction. Object interaction. Object interaction. So stealth, object interaction, which could include like getting something out of your bag, opening a door, drinking a potion. That's time. Make attack, cast spell. Perform an action. That's kind of redundant, isn't it? There we go. So a challenge. A challenge interaction is something that you could succeed or fail at, while a passive interaction is something you can't fail at. Like, for instance, if the door is unlocked, it'd be a move action. You just open the door, you're good. If the door is locked and you need to open it, then that would be a challenge interaction of you being able to actually force the door open. It could be you are... you want to draw a magic wand from your backpack. That's a passive action, but to use the spell that's stored inside of it to target an enemy or to help somebody, that would be a challenge interaction because you have to make a die roll to affect it. That's really fucking clean. Stealth is a special circumstance. Stealth and piloting. There we go. One per round. Asterisk. So we have stealth, movement, one degree, one measure. One degree of movement. Spell 1, 2, 3. Stealth 1 degree of movement. That's the most. There's got to be a third thing that you could do. Passive interaction covers a lot of territory. Stealth is a sort of a challenge. That's it. This would be acrobatics, athletics, stealth. There we go. It's like climbing, jumping, running, swimming. those would be movement. Stealth, of course, tightrope walking, all those sort of things. That's a movement thing to do. Versus making an attack, casting a spell, a challenge interaction. That's really clean. Move, passive interaction, and passive observations. There. I think that fleshes things out. Interactions and observations. This would be like a passive observation would be like listening. It would be like noticing a trap, or a challenge observation would be like actively looking for somebody or investigating something, while a passive observation would just be like does this guy look scared? Like something that you would just be able to notice off the cuff. Like, is this something you could observe just by, because you have ears, you can just hear things, or you can see things that are on the battlefield, or you can feel how the weather is, whatever. Versus challenge observation would be like, I want to investigate this room for a trapdoor. I want to see if I can discern what this guy might be trying to hide from me. Like, why is he, like, can I figure out, like, is he, yeah, investigation, analysis, like fishing data out of a list, that sort of thing. I think that's going to have to do, I think we're going to have a little bit of work on helping break down that from one to the other, but it's incredibly short. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But I think that covers almost anything you could possibly do. So that's good interaction. But we still need to finish out this list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 more things to go. And we have tomorrow, Friday, and we have Monday and Tuesday. So we have 3 more sessions for us to be able to fill out this list of 7 things. I might fill out some of it on my own time, but I'll probably be working on the Light of Xerax's conversion. So I don't think I'm going to be getting back to this until Friday, tomorrow. But if anyone in my Discord, or if you're new to the channel, be welcome to swing by my Discord. I'll update the link down below once we're done with the stream. But be welcome to swing by my Discord. Go down into the Spelljammer Asteroid Belt campaign toolkit. This is what we're building here right now. You'll have access to this as a read-only document. So you can make suggestions in Discord if you're interested in fleshing out some of this action economy. Be aware, this is something I'm probably eventually going to publish, and any suggestions that are on my Discord server, I assume are mine to use, or that you're offering to me to use with no obligations for engagement or reaction. Though I will certainly attempt to give shout outs and recognition to people that are ongoing participants in helping develop stuff. So, but that's it for now, guys. I've got to get out of here. So I will see you all tonight in about 5 hours or so. We're going to be doing token art for our Eberron Mabar Undead Adventure, Crystals of Mabar. And then tomorrow morning we'll be back to do more Spelljammer art, and then tomorrow lunch we'll be back to do more of this. And then on Saturday, our workbench, we're going to rebuild the one of the fighter craft from the Elven Flitter into a Warbird. So that's what we have on our agenda. And then on Sunday, I may have time to publish. My Sunday is going to be a little weird this week, so I'm not sure what I'll have time to get to. But anyway, that's it, guys. I'm out of here. Thanks a lot for showing up. Cash, if you're around, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you participating. And I'll see everyone in the future. Later.